This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Littleton, Colorado. I am here at a Master's Hands. Since 2008, they have been providing affordable remodeling and handyman services for folks in the neighborhood as well as across the area of Denver. I'm here with Jim, who is the co-founder, CEO. Thanks for joining us, Jim. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you officially began the company 2008, but quite honestly, it was over a quarter of a century, over 30 years, you've had your hands in this type of business. What is it that got you started doing this?
Well, Gary, I was a corporate guy for 30 years, and I did this part-time. So I helped neighbors, friends, family members, folks from church with handyman work or remodeling work, and got laid off one time too many in my 50s. And I started doing this just to help people while I was still job searching, and it turned into a real full-time deal. I mean, it just blossomed, and so we became pretty well convinced that this is what God wanted us to do. And so my second career was roll up my sleeves and just go fix people's whatever they need fixed.
You followed faith and you followed the need out there. Let me ask you this. Obviously, a need for a handyman, we can probably trace back centuries, always needing something to do. Quite honestly, today in this busy go-go society, do you feel that the honey-do lists have grown longer as we try to fit everything in?
I think so. I think that's actually a good observation. We have probably 4 different kinds of clients. We have those who don't have the time. So they're very busy. They know how to do it. They may even have the tools and the skills, but they're just flat out busy. And so they just want to outsource that to a professional. We have folks that are retired, so they've got all the time in the world, but they may not have the skills, may not have the tools. So there's those different kinds. And then we have folks that are retired, they have tools, skills, they're woodworkers, they love to play around, but they don't want to spend any time on the house. When they have free time, they want to be with the grandkids, they want to be out on the golf course, and so they don't have the inclination. So anybody who's got a honey-do list and no honey doing the list, they call us.
That is wonderful. Obviously, this is a company that is built on really a family foundation. I mean, you yourself began underneath your father as well as your grandfather. Is the family value part of it? Is that important to you?
I think so. We've kind of evolved in that way because even the guys, we have 12 people in the field now and 2 in the office. And it just kind of took off from just me in a truck to that many folks. And so we feel like all the guys on our team, they're all kind of family to us, and we get together, we have team meetings 2 or 3 times a year. So yeah, I think family is important, and the values that we share are important, and we think it appears that our clients all feel that it's pretty important too.
Obviously, your company prides itself on the fact that you understand the folks that hire you not only trust your work and your quality, but they really trust the people. We're talking coming in and out of their homes sometimes, making sure they're courteous, friendly, cleanliness is priority. Are these important things that have brought you success?
Absolutely. I mean, we do have clients, besides just in and out the home, we have clients that say, look, we're going to be on vacation. We're going to Washington, D.C. for 2 weeks. Here's the list. Can you get it all done before we got back? We just don't want to deal with it. We don't want the noise. We don't want to deal with the headaches. So here's the keys. Here's the garage code. Here's security codes. Just make it happen. And we've built that kind of trust with our clients. And so it is important. I think that sets us apart. Not everybody, I think, has earned that level of trust with their clients. And it takes a long time to build that level, that kind of reputation.
And protect the reputation as well. Regardless of the job that you offer out there, are folks pleased that you actually take the time to explain what you're going to be doing? You're upfront about your estimates. Is that important, that communication that takes place even before you start?
Absolutely. I think besides just communicating, it goes into even helping people understand maybe the best solution for them may not be what they thought. We've had people, for example, that thought we needed to take everything out and replace it. And I said, you know what, that actually is fine. We can just pull a piece out and refurbish it, put it back in, be a lot less expensive for you. On the other side, we've had people where they wanted us to repair a bunch of things, and it would have been a lot of money in repair, and so labor to us would have been a lot of money. And I said, you know what, it's going to be cheaper all around for you, less expensive if we buy new stuff. So the way it's going to break down is we'll spend more on materials. We don't actually mark up materials, so the cost to them would be mostly materials and a little bit of labor, and so the amount of money we earn on it will be a lot less, but it's a better deal for them. So sometimes we're trying to protect from throwing more things in the landfill.
Absolutely.
And other times we're saying, you know, this is better for your budget and your wallet. If we don't try to refurbish this thing, you'll have a better overall product, and the way the home looks will be better, and you'll be happier with it if we just take it out and replace it rather than try to remediate what's there.
So we're talking about estimates that really take a custom approach. I mean, because obviously there's probably no two projects that are alike out there. Obviously this isn't a one price fits all. You can really go in there and customize what it is actually they need and put it together for them.
That's absolutely true. You know, when you take a car in to have a muffler job or have the engine tuned, if it's a Ford Fiesta, every Ford Fiesta was built the same,
Right.
and the parts are the same, they're all interchangeable. It's not that way with houses. They were all built at different times by different builders, and even you go into a neighborhood and all the houses up and down the street were built roughly in the same time period by the same builder. You go in and put one, you know, do a kitchen remodel on one or a bathroom remodel on another, and they're not going to be the same because you find that there were differences in the way the house was built. So you really do need to be able to go in and observe and measure and take down all the details, because every one of them is slightly different.
Slightly different. Let's talk about some of the projects you guys are able to help with out there. Let's start off first of all with the interior. How are you able to help when it comes to plumbing projects and electrical projects? Obviously those are places where if something goes wrong, people notice rather quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because we're a general contractor, we can do anything that's inside the building envelope. Actually, we're a Class C general contractor, so we could build new homes, but we have elected not to go into that. So we just have limited our focus to remodeling and handyman services. So sometimes people will hire us to fix their sprinklers, take care of a bad piece of siding or something small on the outside, and then next thing you know, we're working on doing a bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, finish their basement, that kind of thing. So obviously when we're doing projects of that scope, there's electrical involved, there's plumbing involved. So we have electricians and plumbers that we bring in as partners to do the pieces that have to be done by licensed professionals in those areas.
That is wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about walls. If somebody needs to put up divider walls or maybe even repair some drywall or put some texturing up, these are all areas that you're able to provide help.
Yes, Gary, we do. In fact, we just did several drywall jobs this week. We have a client up in North Lakewood that just bought a house. It's not for herself. She's bought it as an investment property, and I think some people in her family are going to be the first tenants. And so they needed a new floor, new tile floor in the bathroom. The subfloor underneath it was rotten too, because the old flooring that was linoleum had rotted out, had gone through, and the subfloor and everything. So the toilet was gone, the flooring was gone. You could look through the floor joists and look into the basement. So we had to put new subfloor in, new hardy backer, or basically reinforcement on top of that, and then we laid a tile floor. There were also big holes in the wall and the drywall, so we cut those out, put new drywall in, and finished that out, textured them. So that's stuff we do all the time.
Those are some pretty big projects right there. What about calling a handyman for smaller projects? Let's say the things that are in our homes that get worn and wear and tear, like even that of furniture. We're talking about tables and chairs that maybe need tightening up or fixing. Is that something too small to call on for your company?
No, it isn't really. We would frequently say there's nothing too small. There are projects that are too big. Someone says, we want to add an addition on the back of the house. We want a new foundation laid out there and a whole new wing on the house. We would say, no, call the builder. If somebody wants a pop top, they want to add a second story to a one-story house, call the builder. But if they want something inside the house, there's nothing too small, really. So the couple of things you talked about, really small jobs. A good example is seniors. We have a lot of seniors and single moms, folks like that need really small. They need, maybe they need a grab bar put in their kitchen or in their bathroom so they have a place to hold when they're walking around, going around a corner, into the shower, that kind of thing. Maybe they need something like lights that are 18 feet up. They don't have a ladder that big, and if they did, they may not want to get on it. So we can take care of replacing light bulbs that are 18, 20, 24 feet in the air. They don't know how to change their own furnace filter, something really simple like that. So it's a range of things, like really simple things.
That's quite a few things that you were able to provide. You mentioned earlier someone who just bought a house. I notice a lot of people who are beautifying their home with tile. They're going in, putting complete tile work down, maybe on a backsplash in the kitchen. Is that areas that you're able to provide?
Yes, we do tile quite a bit. We do floor tile, wall tiles. We can do decorative, accent stripes, that kind of stuff. So we do backsplashes. I think we're going to look at a couple of projects. We're going to look at a kitchen. We'll go to a bathroom, master bath that we're just finishing up right now. So you get to see some sample work that we've done, tile on the floor, on the walls, and some of the accent work.
That's a lot of years of experience to be able to offer a wide array of services like that. Everything from, really making sure your air conditioners are working, your swamp coolers are working, your carbon monoxide detectors, your smoke detectors. These are all things that are all going on in the home that many times we don't even know how to make sure they're up and going, and we don't know who to call for that.
That's correct. And we actually get a lot of calls from that. People will say, well, I've got a beeping in the house. We don't know what's beeping. Sometimes it's an appliance, sometimes it's a water alarm that they've got a dripping water someplace. They didn't even know they had an alarm to protect for that. And, or it could be a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. And then we go into, you'd mentioned earlier, furniture repairs. We've had people that say, we left a potted plant on the table, it left a ring. We can usually take that kind of thing out. And help them with, we had one gal that had an old dresser that was so old that nobody in the family that was still alive knew what it looked like when it hadn't been painted. Somebody had painted it with like gray floor paint, and it had layer after layer of paint on it, and they wanted it stripped down to the raw wood and restored. So it was a job, and we told them, look, this is going to take some time, it's going to be expensive. So are you really attached to this thing? They said, absolutely. This has been in our family for over 100 years. So they now have a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Obviously, you've been in this industry for many years. One of the things that we see changing quite a bit is companies that are going green. You yourself have an offshoot company. Share with me a little bit about that.
Oh, well, Gary, a couple years after we founded a Master's Hands, we were getting a lot of calls and requests for renewable energy. And so that's really a different business. It's a different business model. The sales cycle is very different. So many things about it are different. And we needed special licenses and certifications to do that as well. So I brought a partner in, and the two of us founded Arise Energy Solutions. Since then, I bought him out, so it's fully my company now. But we do solar energy, photovoltaic solar energy solutions. So we design, integrate, and install those on residential and commercial homes and business buildings.
Which is a perfect fit for Colorado because we have, sunshine over 300 days a year? We're a perfect fit.
We absolutely do. This is a perfect environment because we have great sunshine, but unlike kind of the bullseye of sunshine is Phoenix, but it's very hot there, extremely hot. So the roofs are really hot, and electronics don't like heat. So when you go into a building, where is the computer room? It's in a special room that has its own air conditioning system. It's nice and cool in there. It's the same way with photovoltaic modules that are on a roof. They like to be cool. Well, we have a perfect climate here because we're cool most of the year, and we get a lot of sunshine. And we're also at altitude, so we're closer to the sun. So this is almost the perfect place in the country to do solar energy.
Now, as we move into the outside of the home, we're talking about exterior. Maybe some painting needs to be done, weatherizing needs to be done, be it the windows, the doors, frames. Are these all areas that folks can call on you?
Yes, Gary, we can do siding repairs. We can take care of windows that have been damaged or screens. A lot of people call after they have a hailstorm comes through, or a lot of their screens will be completely shredded. So we can put new screening in. Just take care of the outside of the house. And we also try to be a valued consultant to our clients. So you mentioned winterizing, for example. We send out notes to our clients and alert them, hey, it's getting to be cooler. Get into October, now the temperature's starting to drop. Make sure you unhook your hoses. Don't leave them hooked up, because if you do, even if it's a frost-free type of hose bib, if there isn't a way for the water to run out, which it can't, if there's a hose hooked up that's full of water already, then it's going to freeze and it's going to crack, and then you won't notice anything until in the spring you turn it on and half the water goes into the hose and half the water goes in your wall. So we try to give people some education so they can avoid those situations, and if they do have a problem like that, we can come in and help them with those as well.
That is wonderful. I mean, like you say, the climate's change here in Colorado. Our houses take a beating. Not only that, but we got sprinkler systems that need possibly blown out. And these are all areas that people don't think about, that you've got quite a list when you put these things together. This been a rewarding type of work for you, knowing that you're helping people regardless of, like you said earlier, what their particular needs are?
It is very rewarding. It's different from the corporate world because we really feel like we go in and we help people. They are so thankful that they found us, that we were able to help them get all these different things done, and it's a sense of accomplishment on a daily basis as opposed to having to wait till the end of a month or the other end of the quarter to see if you made your sales goal. Or it's a different, every day you have a sense of accomplishment for completing something and making a quality job, finished for a client that's very happy with it. So it's very extremely rewarding.
That is excellent. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You name it. If you've got garage doors that need to be repaired, or possibly even a little bit of landscaping that needs done, exterior, interior, it's quite a list that they are able to offer you. We're talking about a gentleman that started officially in 2008, but you have to remember we're talking about 30 years of experience he brings to the table here. Check out the website. Pretty easy to contact him right there. If you're not sure, give him a call. He can walk you through if this would be better for a general contractor or to have somebody come in like themselves and do that. They've been providing for neighborhoods throughout Denver here. And check out the testimonials along the same lines right there. Obviously, you offer 100% satisfaction out there for customers. Like you said earlier, it takes a while to build up that reputation. You've been recognized also. You've been recognized by the Better Business Bureau as well as Talk of the Town. Ethics is more than just a reward that you received, but was that quite an honor to receive an award like that? It
was extremely rewarding. It was a special, there's so many good companies out there and many companies that have high ethics. So for us to win the Ethics in Business Award, they give it out to one for-profit and one nonprofit business, or one organization across the greater Denver metro area every year. So we were singled out, and it was just a real honor for us to be recognized that way. Absolutely.
That's a very great story, and we're glad to tell it. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information right there on the bottom. Give them a call. And basically, if you've got a honey to-do list out there and you're not sure what to do with it, and basically maybe you don't want to deal with it and you want to get on to living your life, give them a call. They're going to come out and make sure that they've got a team they put in place that is going to be courteous, professional, and willing to explain the process to you. Upfront estimates. This is a company that began in 2008 that has a master's hands, affordable remodeling, and handyman services. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Lakewood, Colorado. I'm here with Art of the Land, Colorado. Since 1998, they have been designing and building spirited, practical landscapes for clients across Colorado. I'm here with the owner, founder, Nancy. Thanks for joining us today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You were educated here at CSU, I believe. You got your upper graduate in the state of Iowa. Went on to a career of interior design, but then nature called and brought you into the outdoors. Share with me a little bit about your passion and how you got involved in this industry.
Well, I got involved by going to Iowa and noticing the land and the environmental effects of corporate farming versus small farming. And when I came back to Colorado after a 20-year career in interior design, I decided that I wanted to absolutely be outside. And I wanted to be physical, so that's how I sort of started Art of the Land.
Beautiful outdoors that we have. It provides many opportunities, but it also provides some challenges. How did the interior design differ from that of what you do now?
It's a much larger scale, and things are living, and things die. Plants die. It's also more dangerous work when you're building retaining walls and large waterfalls and dry stream beds and bringing in tons of boulders and tons of cobblestone, and that kind of thing really seems to make a difference.
Many materials you're working with, like you say, cobblestone, boulders, and like you said, many of those materials are living, complete ecosystems really at the same time. Is that a challenge to make sure that you're working hand in hand with the earth?
Yeah, we've tried to have everything very sustainable, try to keep everything on the site that we work on, and if we need to, what we take off, we recycle, and we try to do everything for pollinators, and which is bees and all kinds of insects, and to encourage people to plant nature.
The balance that you have between conservation and providing sustainable plant solutions, while at the same time making it comfortable, that's kind of where the art meets the science, would you say?
Yes, it's art, science, and craftsmanship. And I think the most important thing about landscape that is difficult for people to understand is it takes a lot of craft. It takes craft to really plant things well so that they live and they thrive and do as well as they can. It takes craftsmanship for stonework to be beautiful, for patios and outdoor living spaces, and the craftsmanship is a very important element.
Outdoors, you begin noticing the outdoors, like you said, in Iowa. How does the climate here of Colorado differ, and does it provide some opportunities as well as challenges also?
Well, I've always, I'm a native Coloradoan, and so everything is very dry here. And I think what I really noticed was the ecology and the farming in Iowa. Even though I came from a plains town in Colorado, it was just a much larger scale of agriculture and what were small farmers doing with their animals, that kind of thing. So the climate is totally different in Iowa. It wasn't so much being aware of the climate as it was being aware of the land and the farming and what issues were concerning Iowans with corporate farming.
Once the design, the consultation is taken into account, now we're talking about choosing materials, possibly using what's existing there, as well as bringing in some, choosing some colors. Is that kind of a fun process for the client?
Yeah, I think they have a much better feeling for interiors because they redo bathrooms, they redo kitchens, but most of the people that we work with have never had done a landscape. They don't really have a concept of the scale of how many plants they really need, or trees, or how big and how much a patio is going to really cost that they want to put in, or a fire pit or a waterfall.
One of the things that requires that to happen is proper irrigation. Is that one of your areas of expertise?
Yeah, we do irrigation and drainage. And the irrigation, we work with drip irrigation as much as possible.
What about ongoing maintenance? Is this something you can set up for folks, or something that you provide as well?
We provide maintenance, and we also design for ongoing maintenance to make it as easy as possible for the owners.
You've also been recognized by your peers, many awards. Would you like to share with us some of those that you've received?
Well, we've received design awards, and I think that was again from our craftsmanship and our sense of design and aesthetic values in how we integrate with the architecture that we're working with on site.
You basically are bringing years of experience to the table, not only interior design, but now exterior design, landscaping. You are now able to teach others how to do that as well. Is this kind of your way of giving back?
I think design artists are always giving back. They want to share their work, they want to share their eyes and share their experience and how they visually see things.
You're pretty much known for turning outdoor challenges into a work of art. Is this still an industry that you enjoy and love?
Yes. And it's changing. Every season is a different season, and what people want changes as well.
Excellent. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information. Quite honestly, it's as easy as a click and set up a consultation. If you've got an area in your backyard that needs to be done, we're talking more than just residential. We're able to take on commercial projects as well. And this is a company that basically began back in 1998, highly awarded out there, a background of interior design as well as exterior design. No project probably is too large or too small, like you say. You kind of enjoy bringing in some big boulders, but what size of project do you feel comfortable with?
Most of our projects are around 30,000. We've done some up to 90. So we're pretty comfortable with any size. We've done one project that was 300,000, but we're pretty much in that $30,000 to $50,000 range.
Once again, that is Art of the Land, Colorado, located right here in Lakewood, Colorado. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.